This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, guys, so I'm going to cover the commands which we left in the previous class. Like I was not discussed SCP ping telnet because we had only one machine. Other machine was not coming online, so it was not reading the VMware file because I did not rebooted the laptop. Anyway, I rebooted it. I got the files back online. So now I'm going to use this, commands when I'm going to install an Mongo on this machine. First, what I'll do, I'll download the Mongo setup here. I'll transfer the file to here, and then check the install the Mongo, check the connectivity, do the troubleshooting, basic level troubleshooting. Let's do that. So what I'm going to do first on this machine, I'm going to download the setup. This I wanted to know the Linux version here. What is the command we have used already? Cat etc. We must use a sudo. Sudo only can read that. Etc. Red Hat Linux, right? Red Hat release. So this is going to tell us the what is the operating system on this machine. That is where it is going to load. CentOS Linux release 7.6 version it is. So go to the MongoDB University or MongoDB website where we can download MongoDB Community Edition. And we already discussed this part. You had to pick up the compatible MongoDB version based on your operating system. It must be compatible. How do you define that it is going to be compatible or not? You have to check the operating system on your machine first, then download it. If you don't do that, it won't work. It has to be compatible package. It has to be, you have to, check first and get the package next. So I'm going to pick up 3.6 just to discuss few things actually, how the backward compatibilities we have in Mongo. I'm going to talk about that. Like, do we have any version dependencies when it comes to the connectivities and all? So it is intentional. Basically, I did the 4.0 in the last class. I'm doing 3.6. 4.2 is also stable one. I'm not touching that one because I'm going to do the upgrades to that version. I'm not, because 4.4 has some buggy things. It has some issues actually. We did not migrate it. We are running on 4.2 in our environment maximum. 4.0, 4.2, and 3.6. 4.4 has some bugs. So anyway, 3.6 I'll install today, and how the connectivity will go into the backward compatibility side, we'll see it. So now we have identified our OS is a 7.0 series. If it is 8 series, then you pick up this one, Red Hat CentOS 8.0. If anything 8.2, 8.3 something you see here, whatever it is after 7, you have to pick up this 7 CentOS 7. It is given this kind of thing. 8 means 8. So click on this. And I need a package here. This is a zip file. This is called, we call it tarball installations. Tarball means it is something, a zip file. It is tar. We are going to extract using a tar. Tar is a command to extract the file which is zipped actually. So that is why we call it a tarball installations when we use this file. And other thing we'll call it as RPMs installation. RPM installation I did not pick up yet. We'll see that. So try to follow today. It is very basic, and it will give you a lot of insight in the beginning of the course anyway. I'm picking up this and I'm going to this machine, which Linux 0, Linux 01. So now what I'll do, I'll go to, okay, I'll download in my home directory itself. That's fine. Home, Mongo user. I can download. I don't need any permissions on the local directory to download. If I go out of my home directory, I'm where I'm in the directory, from in which directory I'm downloading, there I need to have the privileges. If not, I cannot do it. I need to own that directory so that I can download it. So under home directory, you don't need to have that kind of privilege. You can directly run the command, duplicate and give that link, shift insert. So now if I have the internet connectivity, it will download the setup directly. Let's see. If it won't download, I can fix it actually. Come on, it's not doing, it seems. Good enough. This is a good point for us. So first ping Google. Is it responding or not? Ping www.google.com. Just do this. You have the internet connectivity from your machine or not? You check this one. Oh, it doesn't have the internet connectivity. So good. It it replies immediately. So what you have to do, you have to restart the Ethernet card. For if you see if it is not reaching out, you have to reach like there are two network cards we have given to this machine. If you look at in the beginning when I was preparing the machine for everyone, if you go to the virtual network, there are two Ethernet cards given, not one. So if you see host only for the internal communication, NAT, network address translation. This is for the internet connectivity. This is going to let us to talk to the internet outside of internet. This is for the internal communication, machine to machine. Linux 1, Linux 2 will talk using this local network. We have given the fixed 50.0. This one is not fixed. It is dynamic. It can pick up any network that is coming from the internet. Okay. So this is going to let us. So I have the Ethernet card, which will take me to the internet. So I just have to restart that. So if I see if config, this is a command to see the verify the IPs. This is a local IP on which we are actually interacting. There is something. This is the IP which will take us to the internet. 192.168.223.133. Okay. So now it is not letting me to ping the internet, which means that the Ethernet has some problem. So I just need to give the restart. So it's not taking me to the Google web page. It's not pinging Google, means it is not reaching that website. So what I have to do for this? I have to restart the Ethernet. So how do I do the restart? Just let me clear this. We have to have the sudo privilege to do this. Okay, Mongo user cannot do it. Why? Because he is not a sudo on this machine. So I'll connect with my admin account, Ravinder. Okay. So sudo. Here also I'll quickly check it. It is not reaching the internet. Okay. All right. Now what I'll do,
This happens
sudo.
after rebooting the machine.
It can be sometimes it will pick up automatically. If not, if it is not picking up, you have to just restart the Ethernet. It will pick up the, it will come online. It will pick up the, connectivity to the external world. So yes, it happens sometimes when you reboot the machine in your machines. So there is some configurations people do, I guess. But I did this. You have to run this command if it is not connected. It's a small command anyway. It's not going to have a downtime on the machine for doing
So
this.
in real scenario, is it going to be a checklist like after rebooting the machine, do we need to verify whether this network card is active or not?
Actually, there will be policies that will check and enable it. Here we don't have policies, kind of. That
Mhm.
will that will do everything internally. You don't need to worry about that. But here we don't have anything, so we are checking it. If not doing it, we'll restarting the Ethernet card. So just do this: sudo service restart network. This is a command we have to use to restart that Ethernet card. If I run this, it is going to restart that
So it restarts both the network card or one?
one only, actually. Mm, s- Service
So we are
network.
not identifying over here which card to restart.
Actually, it will restart the external card only.
Mhm.
Sudo network service restart, or there is some command service network. There is some combination I forgot. Anyway, let's give it a try. Okay, it did. It said okay means it did. What it said via system. Let me check this once. No, that was wrong command. There was command sudo service network restart or what? Sudo service. Just I'll Google it. I forgot it seems. There is a command for this. Just a minute, guys. I'll just type this. Is it a command? Sudo system tell restart networking. No. Just a minute. I did this many times actually.
Is it sudo etc init.d networking restart?
No, no, no. Service. It should be the what it is saying. Restarting the network via system CTL. That's fine. Whatever it is. Just a minute. Right. It is reaching. This is a command. Sudo service network restart. So now, if it is reaching the network, I can download that file comfortably. So if you're, I'll keep this in the notepad. I'll send this. I'll write a note. If we are not, it works for your VMs, what I shared. If we are not able to reach internet from the VM, we need to restart, not Ethernet card, using below command. Just keep this, just information. This would help you someday. Okay, you just run this command, it will do the Ethernet restart. Okay, I'll share this anyway, a few commands. So now I'm going to download it. It is going to work. So I can download using this user now. Anyway, this user, Ravinder. So let's clear PWT. So now if I look at here, what I have under my home directory, do I have that file 3.6? I do have, it seems. I'll clean up if I have it. First zip file I'll clean up. Then this is not a empty directory. It has a lot of things in it. So how do we remove the non-empty directories? We discussed that one. You guys remember? So if I go inside this directory, we have a lot of files in it. And if I go in under the bin directory, again, we have a lot of files in it, right? So to delete non-empty directories, what is the command we have used? You guys remember? So rm minus r. R means recursively. Yeah. So then I'll use this one. So, but this is going to do one more thing, guys. What it is going to do, every file it is deleting, it will ask you, do you want it to delete or not? If I do this, it is remove it. Good enough. It is removed. So it is gone. Actually, it will ask, what it will ask is, you have some files in it. Are you sure you want it to delete? If you don't want to that task, that need to be given to you that prompt, rm minus hyphen rf and then a directory. It will go on recursively into all child directories and clean up everything inside in it. Then it will clean up the parent directory as well. Rm minus or hyphen rf and the directory which is what you wanted to delete if it is non-empty. Anyway, when you're running this, you have to be 100% sure you need to clean up that. There is no recovery once you delete it. Recoveries are not there here. You don't have a recycle bin here to recover like Windows. Even you delete in Windows, if you do just delete, it will go to the recycle bin. At least you can recover from there. In Linux, we don't have that option. It is gone means gone. Okay, let's try to download, guys. So now I'm into my home directory. Let's clear this. So I'm going to do duplicate and I'll go to this site. I'll pick up this link again and I'm running this. If I run this, it will download that file now. See, because I have the internet connectivity now, It is going to that website and downloading the file. So now what is the topic is I wanted to transfer this file from Linux 01 to Linux 02. Let's do that. So how do we transfer the files between the machines? We have to transfer many a times. It is simple anyway in Linux. So now the file got downloaded successfully. This is a file. And I have to extract this file, but I don't extract right now. Even if I extract, okay, let's talk about both. Because see, tar, if it is actually, we will call it as, zip files. And if you see the zip extension, tgg, actually you have it. That is why we use the tar command. If you have a different if they have used different mechanism to zip the file, that mechanism we have to use. This is called tarball installation. That is why tar -xvf extract it. This is the command is going to extract that. So if I use this, it is going to extract this zip file. So it is extracting it. Now we will try to transfer both the files, because one is just one file, other one is it is a directory and it has a lot of data in it. So how do we transfer? Both have a different mechanisms. That is why I wanted to pick up both. Sorry, clear LSF and L. Now I wanted to transfer this file, this zip file and the file which has a lot of data inside the directory. So both have different mechanism to transfer from one machine to other machine. So these three commands I did not discuss when I was talking the basics, right? We're going to see all of this today. Okay, quickly. So first I wanted to transfer this file or this file I'm trying to transfer. Let me do it. There is a command called SCP, Secure Copy Program. SCP means, and you wanted to copy this where you are right now, where the file exists. See this file I'm directly using. Shift insert, it will copy paste. Or else, what do? Mongo, what it does, Unix, any Unix platform, if you just type few letters of it, whatever the files are matching, it will give you. So these two are matching till this point. Then I'll give a dot. So then after that, this is the next file is having the dot. So it will resolve that file automatically. You don't need to type everything. Or else you just highlight this, it will copy it to the buffer. You just shift insert, it will copy it. So next, I want you to transfer to this server. Who can talk to this server? First, you need to have an authorized user to talk to that server. So I'm into the Ravinder. I wanted to move it to Mongo user profile, assume a case. In the Linux 01, I have the Mongo user profile. If I see here, Mongo user home directory. If I see here, there are no files at all in this directory. So now what I'm trying to do, I'm going to send this file to Mongo user profile from this profile. See where it is, sorry. It's a Linux 02. I had transferred to the Linux 02. Let me see what all we have in this machine. I'll create Mongo user quickly if not. Oh, I don't have Mongo user. Let's make it. User add. Sudo user add. That's it, right? We discussed this one. Mongo user. I'm just trying to simulate the yesterday discussion. That is why I'm creating the same user. Right. We created a user. Now I wanted to create the group also, like a MongoDB user is there. Let me check. We have the MongoDB group or not. EDC group. It's a basic only, guys. It's kind of recap on what I'm not discussing anything new today.
So Ravindra, there are four sessions over here. Two are Linux 01, two are Linux 02.
See, this is the Mongo user session with the Linux 01. This is the Ravinder session with the Linux 01.
Okay.
And I downloaded under the Ravinder session, the file. Anyway, I can download using the Mongo user as well. Let me do that quickly. I mean, if you wanted to work with me only Mongo user, I can do that. It is possible.
No, because this made a bit confused.
Okay, I'll take out. But okay, there will be some issues with if I go with this user, I guess. Why? Because this user don't have admin rights. So Ravinder have admin rights. Right, I'll close this Ravinder session from here.
If you can just leave one each session open, then it will be appreciated, so that there will be less confusion.
Okay, fine. I'll take it off this Mongo user session, and here also I'll pick up into the Ravinder user itself. Just it's something we are checking it, right? So we logged in into this machine using the Ravinder, or else if you don't know, it'll give you the username anyway. So it is Linux 02, Linux 01 also Ravinder. Let me take out this if you have confusion. Right. So now I want to transfer the file Linux 01 to Linux 02. This is the situation here. So now where I want you to transfer, that is something you have to define. So I want you to transfer to the home directory. There are multiple ways, multiple patterns we can follow to migrate it. So SCP, the file name, you are calling the file name where you are sitting. See, if I go here, I am directly calling that file, pwd. If I use lsfnl, in this directory only I have this file. That is why I can use SCP that file directly. Clear lsfnl. I have this one directly into my home directory, and from there only I'm using the command. If I'm sitting somewhere in any other directory, if I wanted to transfer this file, I have to use absolute path home. Okay, Ravinder. Under that we have this zip file. You have to use complete path. It will go in this directory. It will pick up this file, and you wanted to send it to Linux 02. Who can talk to Linux 02 is another question. You need to have one account and the target. So Ravinder can talk to Linux 02. I have the account. So I'm giving the Ravinder account, Ravinder at the rate mission name. What is the mission name? Linux 02. Linux 02 colon. So if I use this just a colon, what it is going to do? It is going to pick up this file from this directory and copy into Ravinder Linux home directory. Because I did not mention any path, you can copy to the target server some directories, different directory also. It is possible, but I did not mention anything. So example, let me do this first. So if I run this, are you sure you wanted to connect to target? Yes, I wanted to. And it is asking me the Ravinder password to connect to the server, the target server. I'm giving that user password. Once I enter, it is started transferring the file. See, 66%, 85%, 100%. The file got transferred from the Linux 01 to Linux 02. So previously there was nothing under my home directory. Now I'll get a file. So where I am right now, sorry, I have to enter into the Ravinder folder because I transferred to the Ravinder home directory. 3.6, 3.13, and what we have downloaded is 3.6.20. This one got transferred now. 3.6.20. This is the one I have transferred. Okay. So now let me delete this one if it is confusing you. This thing. I'll do it multiple times. No need to worry. This is important because we do transfer the files. 6.13, right? Yeah. Right. So clear once LSFNL. Now I have two files here. I'm going to I extracted already this file if I want to transfer. Or let's you work with this only, the current one. If I wanted to move it to one directory inside the home directory, if I have one directory here, example where I'll create one, setups, make directory, setups. We have this directory. I wanted to transfer that file specifically into this directory, cd setups lsfnl. We don't have anything in it. Now I want to transfer the same file again, scp. I'm going to use the same directory, this same file. I'm not giving the absolute path now. See, previously I have given the absolute path. Why? Because I just wanted to show that wherever you are, if you are giving the complete file path, it will go into the directory and pick up the file and send it. But right now, I'm just giving the direct file name. Why? Because I'm in the same directory where this file is sitting. I don't need to give the complete path because the file is sitting where I am currently connected to. So if you have confusion, please let me know. This is the basics, very basics. So this is how it is. So here I have it. That's why I'm calling it directly. SCP and call the file. Okay. And who can talk to the target? Ravinder. And at the rate Linux02, I'm giving the target server name. And if you don't give anything on the target, it will go into the Ravinder home directory. But if you wanted to move it to specific directory, you have to mention home, Ravinder, and setups. We have the setup folder, right? Setups. This is the directory I wanted to move specifically. Okay, so if I do this, it is going to transfer to that directory because you mentioned where it has to copy. So it is copying. So now if I go and check here, the file will be here into the setup directory. So you can copy to the specific directory also. It's not that always you have to go to home directory. So now if I go inside in it, where do I have MongoDB? I have. So now inside the MongoDB, it's out of my user home directory. Okay, let me clear. I'm into the where MongoDB. If I check it here, I don't have anything, any directories in this. It's out of my home directory. So if I wanted to write, if I wanted to transfer this file into where directory, into where MongoDB directory, so Ravinder should own that, or else it should be sudo over. Two things it must be done. So let me go to the where lsfnl. Look at the permissions. Who have the permissions? MongoDB is owned by MongoDB user, not Ravinder. But I'll try to transfer to the where MongoDB from here. Let's see what it says. lsfnl. So SCP, the file name, what I want to transfer this one. Okay. And who can connect to the target? Ravinder at the rate Linux02. And I want to transfer to where MongoDB directory. I'm specifying the directory. So it should be MongoDB, right? Right. If I enter this, Ravinder should go to this directory. If he has to go to what I'll do, I'll use sudo. Sudo. Let's do it. If without that, what it says, permission denied mostly. You'll see that permission denied. Why it is permission denied? Because Ravinder does not have, as an individual user, does not have a permission to write the data into this directory. He's not supposed to. Why? Because you don't have permission. Instead of that, I'm going to call sudo. Sudo also, will it call on the remote? I have to check. Yes. Sorry, it should be sudo. Now it will transfer mostly. Yes. Or are you sure you wanted to connecting? Yes. As you want to continue? Yes. Okay. Okay. It need yes. Okay. Permission denied. Okay. You don't have the privileges to do that. If he has to do, let me see here. I'll show the permission level. It's a very good example. If Ravinder has to transfer into the where MongoDB, I had to take the ownership. Sudo ch1 Ravinder. First, let me check the Ravinder group. ID Ravinder. What is a group? Is part of the Ravinder and wheel group. Two groups. I can give anything, any of the group. So ch1 sudo first. You have to use a sudo because it's owned by someone else. Sudo ch1. Okay. Ravinder. And group, I can use Ravinder or wheel. Anything is will work. Why? Because he has two groups. Now MongoDB. MongoDB. If I do this, Ravinder user will get the ownership on that one. If Ravinder getting the ownership, now I can transfer. See this. If you understood this, you can play with anything. So Ravinder got the ownership on the MongoDB directory. Now if I transfer, it should not give me the issue anymore. Why? Because I had the rights. I don't need to use a sudo in that source. Why? Because it's in the home directory itself. It applying to the source anyway. So if you look at here, SCP, this is a directory I'm picking and sending the file what to the Linux 02 using Ravinder to this directory. It is possible now. Why? Because Ravinder owns this directory in the target. It should not give the permission denied issue anymore. Let's see that. If you understand this, it is going to help you a lot. See, it is started transferring. Why it is started transferring? Because I have the create privileges under this directory now. Because I got the rights. Ravinder got the rights. He is able to transfer the file. Following? Say something, please.
Yes.
Confusing? If you confused, let me know.
Still confused.
What happened, Biren? Actually, see, first case, if you see SCP, the file name, okay, this file I am trying to transfer using Ravinder and the Linux 02 under not into the home directory. I am sending the file to the target using this user into this directory. But into this directory, this user have the permission previously? No, he was not having. Why? Because the directory was owning by MongoDB.
So
Follow.
later on, you change the permission from MongoDB to
Ravinder.
Ravinder. Okay, so I got confused over here. Like at a time, only one has a permission. You cannot have more than one person as a permission for the
No.
directory.
You can have through the group.
Okay, so
Okay,
even you change the group as well over here
let's do
because you
that.
said that you can.
Let's do that. So what I'll do, good point you brought up. So let's do this. So wheel is a group, okay? Ravinder is part of. So what I'll do, group has what permissions, read, write, execute. Okay, is ownership, good enough. So now what I'll do, ch1 sudo ch1. I'm going to use MongoDB, but I am going to keep the group as wheel only. But MongoDB should be wheel group. Let me see. ch1. I'll play in a different way to make you understand. Wheel is not part of MongoDB. Okay, so what I have to do to make this happen? Sudo user mod. See, if you go to the ID MongoDB. So MongoDB is part of only MongoDB group only, and you're trying to add him under the wheel. MongoDB is not part of that wheel group. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to make him sudo user mod. We discussed all of these commands. Okay, user mod -g. I'll add him to the wheel group, and username is MongoDB. Right. So if you see ID MongoDB, you see that is part of the wheel group. So now what I'm going to do, ch1 sudo ch1, okay, and MongoDB wheel MongoDB. So this is going to change the ownership on the MongoDB folder. MongoDB is a user, I mean owner of the file, and the group will also be owner of the file. So wheel group, what it is saying, oh, come on, so typo guys, don't mind. The heck, Mongo, where it is saying cannot access the, oh here the directory name is wrong. Sorry, don't mind, I'm typing wrongly all things. Now if you see, this is where you need to understand, get the Biren. MongoDB is owning the directory, but there is a wheel group. Wheel group has a read execute. So I'll change this to write also. Ch. Okay. Sudo chmod 775 on MongoDB directory. I'm giving the right permission to group also. Group doesn't have a permission. Read and execute only have. I'm giving the right also. 775 means everything. If you see, directory got this. Previous case, the group, this is a group have read and execute, but not write. But I have given the to the group. If you see to the group read, write, execute, I have given. So now I'll go inside the MongoDB directory. Let's see. So I am going to delete this. Can I delete this? Anyone tell? Can I delete this file or not?
File you can delete it, but folder no.
Okay, I can delete. Why? Because I'm getting the rights to the group. Actually, I don't, as a Ravinder, I don't own this directory. I'm able to get that right using the group. I'm part of the wheel group. The wheel group has the read write permission on the directory. That is why he's able to remove. He's not supposed to remove a directory from others people owned a directory, but he's coming. The permissions are coming through the group. So now your doubt should be cleared, Biren, actually. So now I'm transferring the file using the SCP Mongo, the file what I wanted to transfer to the target. Ravinder is talking to the target server on the Linux 02 and sending the file to MongoDB. If it transfers, how it transfers? It is transferring. How it is transferring? You don't own it. Is transferring through the group permission, group account. So in the real world, we don't own any directories using the personal accounts like MongoDB user. You don't own it. Your groups will own it. Through the groups, your permissions will be assigned and aligned. Is it
Yeah,
clear?
got it. Yeah, it's clear now.
Good enough. This is all about the SCP, guys, nothing else. First, you see, what you need to clearly understand here is you are sending a file from the local server to target server using the SCP secure copy program. When you are picking this file, you are in the same directory or not. You have to check that. So I am checking it ls-l. This is where the file is I want you to send. And on the target, if you look at the target, on the target where you are writing and which user you are using to connect, this user does have the permission on the target or not. That is what you have to verify. If he has, it will copy without giving the problems. If it doesn't have, permission denied. Both the cases we have seen. And let's copy a directory, not a, it is like a file. See, if you look at, this is a file, it is not a directory. Wherever you see D, it is a directory. How do you copy a directory which has the files inside in it? That you need to use in a different one extra parameter. So SCP, the same command is same, but this is not a zip file. I'll just use up to 20 only. Why? Because this doesn't have the zip. So now if I just use this, so what happens? Let's see. Okay, if I just use this, so what did he say? It is not a regular file, it is a directory. To copy the directory, you have to use recursive copy, recursive -r, copy capital R. Small r for recursively give the deletions and permissions on the files, but recursively copy, you have to use the capital R. What are you saying? Capital R. Don't use this. Maybe smaller. Is it? Okay, it's smaller only. Okay. For permission, it is a capital R, I guess. Yeah. Now it will copy the file by file. So whenever you are copying a directory which has the files inside that directory, use scp-r. -r, what it does, it will go to every file recursively and copying file by file. See, it is not copying entire directory at a time. It is going inside the directory and copying one by one what we have inside the directory recursively. So now if I go back to here, lsfnl, this is a file we transferred, and it is not empty directory. It has a lot of files in it. cd mongodb, and if you see, we have the direct, right? If you see inside in it, you have this directory. If I go to the bin directory, you have all of this. Now this is about the scp command, nothing else. Other than that, nothing else. These are all you need to know. Transferring the files between one server to other server. When you are transferring, you're talking to the target server using one user and you're sending it to one of the directory. This user should have a right permission on the target directory through the group or through the owner, whatever it is. You must have that. Then you can transfer. The next thing is about next command. What I left was ping. Ping is just to check the machine reachability, guys. So ping Linux 01, if it is reaching, it is able to talk. It is pinging. And I'll do the in the reverse order also. Ping Linux 01. So yeah, it is one only, right? It is going to ping. See, it is reaching inside the network. On the local network, it is reaching. So telnet is something when the product is not connecting from the remote, when the product is not coming from the remote, people do complain many a times. They are not able to connect to the product from the machine, some particular machine. Then that time we use the telnets. So I have the Mongo here. So how do I know it is Mongo? Let's see. Yesterday we installed the Mongo on this. If you guys remember. Oh, I don't have Mongo on, maybe on this one. We installed on the Mongo on the VM01, I guess. Grep Mongo. Right, we have the Mongo here. See, this is what is our Mongo service using the Mongo user. So I can connect, just I can use Mongo. It is taking me to the Mongo server. It is connecting to the Mongo. Now from the VM01, can I talk to the VM0, 1, the Linux 02 to Linux 01 product? Am I talking or not? You have to use a telnet Linux 01, and on which port the Mongo is listening, the port on which port it is listening. So if you wanted to know, this is a config file where we have, right, Mongo is running from this directory. No need to worry, I'm covering the Linux installation again today, roughly. Yesterday I discussed, right? So today is anyway, I'll cover quickly on the other machine to show you the backward compatibility. This is a config file what we built. And what is the port I have used? 27017. So is telnet is going like this machine able to make a connection on the 27017 or not? You have to verify that 27017 telnet. If I hit it, it is connected. It is connected means the port is open between this server to this server. Which port? 27017. If it is blocked, they cannot connect. The first ping. If ping is reaching the machine, Linux 02, Linux 01, then do the telnet. If the telnet is also reaching, there is no issue over the network. Network is absolutely clear, and there is something else you need to troubleshoot. Maybe service is shut down. Maybe user is not authorized. That way we will look at step by step. If some see what user know is, he'll directly come to you saying that I'm not able to connect to the server. First you have to do the ping from where he is trying to connect. Ping is working fine. Then do the telnet on the product port. The port is giving like connected to the Linux. Then what you have to do, just close. Oh, if it is like giving the connectivity in the telnet, then network issue absolutely not there. Then you need to ask them what is the username you're using to connect to the product, what is the port number you're using. We will investigate in that direction. We will investigate in that direction. Why? Because the network issue is not there. Next thing is they are using the wrong credentials, wrong server port, or wrong details. Something is wrong if the network is fine. So that way we will troubleshoot the things basically, right? Anyway, so telnet is also over and ping is also over. That's all you need to know about these three commands. These three are very important commands for us. Now we did yesterday all this. Today I'll very quickly do on this one. 3.6 I'm doing intentionally. So first what I have to do, I have to prepare the service account quickly, what we did yesterday. So Ravinder, Mongo user, I just created Mongo user. Let me use that. So what is the Mongo user ID? Let's see. ID Mongo user is part of Mongo user only. I did not create a group. So what I'll do, sudo group add. What do we create a group name? MongoDB user is there. The group will also be there. Else I'll create one Mongo. I'll create a group name as Mongo1, something whatever it is. Doesn't matter. I'm creating a group called Mongo1. It got created. If you wanted to verify that group is created or not, cat etc groups group just, it will tell you the Mongo1 group is created. Now good enough to use that. So now if I see Mongo user is ID Mongo user again is part of a Mongo user. Username, group name is same if you don't mention. So now I'm going to modify that. Sudo user mod. See, these are all discussed in the basics, guys. Sudo user mod Mongo user hyphen small g. I'm going to add a group called Mongo1. Right. If you see, If you see ID Mongo user, you see that group is mapped to the user. Okay, Mongo user, but group is Mongo one. Now, where I wanted to install the product, data file, log file, setup directory, and config file. These are the four things we wanted. So again, I'll go into the var. I'll check the MongoDB directory, or else I'll create one new directory. Not an issue. I don't need to use all the time MongoDB only. I can use any directory. I'll use what do we call like data Mongo data. I'll create a new directory called Mongo data. Sudo mkdir. I cannot create with Ravindra account. I had to use sudo mkdir Mongo data is a directory where I wanted to build everything. Mongo data, right? Right. It got created. Who is owning this Mongo data directory? Root. Who should own? Mongo user, Mongo one group should own that directory first. Sudo ch1. Okay. Mongo user, Mongo one is the group is part of Mongo data. I'm changing the ownership to on the directory to Mongo user. Good enough. Now you see this. It is done. Now I'll enter into. I'll I'll take one more thing, guys. cd. Okay. Before that, I have to transfer the file from here to here. Why? Because I need to install from that product. So cd. I'll copy that. cd MongoDB. Okay. lsfnl. I'm going to copy this. This is enough. One copy, one zip file. cp. Okay. I'm copying that file. Where I wanted to copy where MongoDB. Sorry, Mongo data. Where Mongo data, right? It's not doing it. What is it? Mongo data only, right? So CP I'm using, sudo I have to use actually because I don't own it. Ravinder own it, don't own it. I'm using sudo. It is going to copy. So it is copied. So now if I go where MongoDB, Mongo data, you see that file. So I'm making everything under, it is owned by root now again. So a sudo ch1. I'm giving the ownership to, don't confuse guys. What I'm doing is we took the ownership to the Mongo user and the Mongo data, but actual binaries are in this Mongo DB. Now I moved the binary to this one using the root. Why? Because Ravinder is moving it. Ravinder cannot move it to from here to there. So moved it good enough as it is moved through the root. So root got the permission. So I'm transferring the permission to Mongo user. ch1 Mongo user Mongo one. Right. Next one thing I'll do is config directory. etc. Do I have Mongo? Okay, it is there. It is giving that means it is there. So I'll just own that one. ch1. See guys, I'm into etc, lsf and l. We have the Mongo directory. If it doesn't have, that will throw the error. Oh, man, MongoDB somewhere. Do you see the MongoDB directory? Yeah, here it is. It is owned by MongoDB. MongoDB. I'm changing the ownership to sudo ch1 Mongo user Mongo1 MongoDB. So Mongo user is a username. This is a group name. This is a directory where is getting the ownership. Right now, I no need of this account, admin account. I can do everything using my local account itself. That's enough. I'll go to duplicate using the Mongo user. Mongo user. Right. This we have done exactly. Oh. Mongo user.
You haven't set up a password for Mongo user.
Good. Very good catch. That's correct. I did not set up the password. Without password, user cannot connect. I'm setting the password first. Yeah. Good follow-up. Now I'm using Mongo user and giving the password. Right. So now I entered using the lsfnl into my home directory. I'm connected to the Mongo user. Mongo user got the rights on the var MongoDB. Mongo data actually, in fact. So here he has the one file which is owned by him. He can tar it -xvf Mongo. He can do this, unzip it because he is owning it. Next, what do we wanted? I wanted the data directory, log directory, mkdir, data and log, two directories. Right. Next, what we wanted? We have the data, log and setup. I need the config file now. Config directory also, I own it already. cd var MongoDB. Oh, sorry, why am I entering? cd etc MongoDB. lsfnl, we don't have anything here. I'm going to pick up the config file from here. This is a config file. Somewhere I read, right? Yeah, this is the config file I wanted. We discussed this yesterday. Config or we'll call it as YAML file, YAML. See, yesterday we discussed all this. I'm recapping almost, except that SCP commands. So I created a data directory where Mongo data, and under that log is there. Here also Mongo data. That's it, Mongo data. And I wanted to run on a different port. Yes, you can absolutely run. There is no issue. But 1927017 is a default port. If it is a default port, when you are connecting to the Mongo, you don't need to supply the port. If you are using a different port, you have to use the port to connect. That is there. So this config file is going to work for this system, Linux 02. Why? Because we modified the log directory where Mongo data log that we have here. You have to match that. If not, it won't work. Mongo data lsfnl, it is log only, log. It is matching. So pwd where Mongo data log. It is valid path. So it is going to build a log file automatically. And the storage where Mongo data. It is going to build the data files into this directory. cd data lsfnl. Right. You don't have anything right now. It is going to build a lot of things. Okay. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to use this config file to run the Mongo. Copy. Now I'll enter into the cd etc MongoDB. This is where I'm going to define the Mongo config file. Vi mongo conf mongodb.conf. So insert we just already open the vi editor. I have to give the insert mode. You have to insert, then shift insert, copy. It is copied. System log, destination path, the storage. Fine, it looks good. The port is different. Intentionally I kept it. Now I'm going to run the Mongo. But Mongo binaries are calling. That is another point. Let's see. Is it calling the Mongo? No, because we did not prepare the environment variable. Where do we prepare the environment variable? We discussed yesterday. So I need to know this path. Which path? pwd, where I am right now, into etc cd, where we have the setup Mongo data. Under that Mongo 20 and bin, and this is where we have the binaries. If you see this, this is where I have the binaries. I went into the directly to this file where Mongo data, this directory. Within this directory we have a bin. Under bin we have this one. This I have to keep in the profile D. Yesterday we did it, right? So I had to copy this directory, guys. This directory is important for me. We did this yesterday, exactly the same thing. Preparing, I'm not writing all because I sent already. Preparing environment variable. This directory I wanted. Now I'll go to call etc. Oh, this user cannot do that. Only sudo can do it. So Linux 02, is it Ravinder? Yeah, this user can do it because this is not a sudo or who Mongo user. So I wanted to prepare the environment variable. So only admin can do it. cd etc profile D. Here I'm going to create one folder mongo.sh we have here. I'm going to remove that if I have it, if you not to confuse like yesterday. Okay, sudo I have to use remove mongo.sh. Right, so now you don't have that, don't confuse. So I'll pick up that what we have format from the Linux 01. So cd etc. Yesterday we prepared on this machine. Profile D. Cat mongodb.sh. This is the format I wanted. The same format I'll place it there also. It is a recap of the yesterday discussion only. Just follow it. Then I'll talk different topics today and the basics. Right. This is the directory I had to pass. Why? Because my setup string where Mongo data, MongoDB, Linux, and bin directory. This is the new directory for this machine. So I'll pick up this. I'll go to the Ravinder account who has the sudo, right? So sudo vi mongo. You can give anything, Mongo or what I will say class, whatever it is, class.sh, doesn't matter. So using it, inside in it, I'm going to paste that. Okay, I'm going to paste. So now with this model, let me ask this question. Will it, see, I have the package now, class, where is the class dot here. Here we have the environment variable, but will other people can execute this one? No, it is not executable file. It must be an executable file to load for everyone. You must give the execution permission to others. You're getting the point? See, everybody connected to the machine, their profile will load using all of these files by default. etc profile D files will be given to every user by default. But this is loading good enough, but it is not executing. If they are not executing, they cannot see the path. You must give the execution permission. So sudo, following, right? Don't go blank on this one.
Yes,
This is important.
yes. So 6,
Right,
4,
6.
6, 4, 5.
Okay, 655 is fine. 4 means read only, you get it. So 4
Yeah,
5 is
it's
also 5 is
yeah,
also
4,
fine.
5.
It is also fine. It will work. If you see the file now it is executable for others. It is intention anyway for others. Everybody will be the other basically. Every user is another. Whoever is connected to the machine is another. So this is an executable. So now what I'll do for Mongo user, I'll log off and log in to take that. You cannot see that directly. You have to log off and log in once. It is mandatory. That I said yesterday. Mongo user. Now if I'm calling Mongo, it is calling it. Which version it is calling? 3.6, because I kept in the directory 3.6. See, it is calling from the var Mongo data 3.6 version because it is reading that file from the profile. Is it clear? Say something. Clear or not?
Yes.
Now under Linux 02, will I, if I'm trying to start the Mongo D using the Ravinder, will it start or it won't start? This is another question I wanted to, you guys need to answer. Anyway, it won't load Mongo for him. He also has to log off and log in once. Who? Ravinder. I wanted to ask this question intentionally. You just need to give the answer if you understand the previous discussions. Can Ravinder start the Mongo or not straight away? Mongo, he can launch the Mongo and he can launch the Mongo D also. But can he use etc Mongo conf? Can he start the Mongo? That's a
Because
question.
he is not part of that group. Mongo 1.
Right. So it's a question. Can he start or he cannot start?
No.
No, that's correct answer. He should not. Why? Because he's not part of the Mongo one group or not ownership. It does not have the ownership on the var data Mongo data directory or var MongoD. So if I run this, it will throw the error. What is the error? If you really wanted to troubleshoot this, why it is not started, let me go to any of the user. So I can troubleshoot even from here itself. Here, var Mongo data lsfnl, you have the log. Okay, go inside the log, it will build a log. You see, it did not even touch that. It is failed at the directory itself. It is not even able to write the log because it is not authorized at any layer. Is, see, it should start, then it is rejected at the start, then it'll write a log, but is rejected at the directory level itself, though it is directly straight away failed. It did not even attempted to start in the background because at a directory level itself it is rejected, so it is not able to build a log. Log is should be built by the authorized user, not by this guy. If I use sudo, then it will build a file. I don't use that. So you see, if Ravinder is trying to start, he is not able to start Mongo. See, Mongo d-f is able to start this one. It is not able to start it because you don't have permission. If I use a Mongo user, he can do it because he is owning all the directories. Mongo d-f etc Mongo. If I run this, it should start. If not, we will troubleshoot. Anyway, errors are too good to learn. So now if I wanted to connect to Mongo, it won't connect. Why? Because you have usen 27018. You have to use the port every time you connect. Mongo, if it is a default 27017, you don't need to supply the port. If it is other than the default port, you definitely have to mention the port to connect. Port 27017. Sorry, 18. Now it will connect. Why? Because you are running the Mongo using different port. Now, in both the machines, we have the Mongo. Can I connect remotely to Linux 02 to Linux 01, Linux 02, Linux 02? Yes, you can connect because network is open. You can make connections. How does in the real world works? You know how we are working in our environment. Let me explain so that you get an idea. See, we don't enter into all servers in the real world. You will have one jump host, one machine where you will have your binaries, Mongo binaries. That's it. Your DB server is here, Mongo server is here, a lot of servers are in the background. What do? We will, as a DBA, will connect to this server. And from here, we'll connect to all of the servers in the background if as required and do the administration. You don't need to get into the local machine as long as the Mongo is not down. If the Mongo is down, you wanted to do the encryptions, you wanted to change the directories, anything that you had to touch at the backend level, then you enter into the RDP to the directly to the server. But you wanted to do the remote administration, like creating databases, creating the collection, restoring the collection, moving the files here and there, everything you can manage remotely, absolutely remotely. Even through remotely also we can see. Let me talk about this. See, let me see if I'm connected to the Linux 01. I want to talk to Linux 02 or Linux 02 to Linux 01. So if you see what is the version of server version here. So when you connect into the Mongo server, it will give you two things. Two things is, first thing, if you see, I'm connecting to Mongo shell version. Shell version is 4.0. Mongo server version. Shell and server are different. They are not same. Mongo server version is 4.0 and shell version is 4.0. Now, if you wanted to check within the product also, db.server status version, there is something called version. This will give the Mongo version. Or else db.version. There are many commands I'm going to talk about. Don't worry as we move on. So this will verify your Mongo version. Good enough. But
So Shell is something like a management studio in the SQL.
kind of, exactly. It is a kind of. It is like, see, as long as you have the binary, you can talk to any target server. Just you have to have the binary. That's it. It's a Mongo is like SMS. Your SMS. You are connecting to the server, any server that you are authorized. You just need to have the internal networking in the background. The tool let you to connect to all the backend servers. The same way it is. Exactly, you said it is. You take the SM as an example, SSMS. Now I'm sitting in the Linux 01. I'm trying to talk to Linux 02 Mongo server. Mongo, use the host. You have to use the host name. That is a parameter you have to supply. And the Linux 02. Okay, if I try to hit this one, it will throw the error by default. Why? Because Mongo is not listening on the default port. If it is listens, it will connect. So I had to use a port also mandatorily, port 27018. As this is not a default port, that is why you are mentioning it. If not, the previous case, this itself would have been connected. So I'm using this. If you see this one, try to follow this. Okay, connect failed. Why? Oh, just a minute. Firewall is on or what? Sudo status system. Just a minute. I'm verifying the firewall. Okay, it is not going in that direction, really. Just a minute. Telnet telnet Linux 02. It is not going on the 27018, it seems. Let's troubleshoot. This is a good example. Telnet Linux 02. Oh, telnet command not found. Good enough. I'll do install. Install telnet. It is going to install. What the heck it is saying? Loaded plugins, master measure. You need to root. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. See what it is saying. I wanted to test. See, Mongo should connect. It is a good, very good example. This is a very good example. We got it. Come on. See, I'm trying to connect to the target server. It is not connecting. What it is saying? Attempt failed. Socket exception. Connecting to this one. It is no root exists. No root. Root itself is not there. So telnet we have to check it first to see from this machine. This Mongo they are not connecting. So first we have to look at the network layer. Lipping in Linux 02 is going through. So this is not issue. Next, what I have to look at? The next thing is telnet. So telnet I'm trying to do. Telnet machine is Linux 02 from Linux 01. See, this is Linux 01. I'm trying to Linux 02. 27018 should be opened. Telnet itself is not there. It is saying I have to install that module. It is a module. Sudo yum install telnet. You have to install. It's a module. So I can install that on the fly because I have the admin rights. Wait, this is a good example. So very basic we are talking about, absolutely ground troubleshooting. Anyway, tomorrow we'll move to the product, not voice level. Okay. Package will be installed. Okay. Just a minute. It must install that package. Yes, I wanted to. Yes, I wanted to. Good enough. Now let's do it. Telnet is up. Telnet Linux 02 27018. Okay, this is exactly a good point. Trying to connect telnet telnet connect to address, no route to host. There is no route. It is blocked. It is saying it is blocked. But from here, when I'm doing the telnet, it is working fine. One direction is good, other direction is not good. Telnet Linux 02 Linux 01 27017. It was working. We tested already. It is working. Connected to. This is the message it has to give. Okay. Right. Now from here also I should get that same message, but I'm not getting it. So this network is not good. I mean from Linux 01 to 2 is not going. 2 to 1 it is coming. This can happen because a firewall is open on this one. Firewall is on, it is blocking it. Let's see the status. Sudo system ctl status firewall D. I'm checking the firewall status. Is it really firewall issue? Oh, sorry, I had to use my sudo Ravinder. Sudo system status firewall D. I'm just checking the firewall status, guys. That is the reason I got the point. Okay, it is active. I'll shut down the firewall. I'll shut down, stop. First disable and stop. It won't start even I start the machine also. See, stop means it will stop the firewall. Good enough. Okay, it will stop the firewall. Now you see the status. The firewall is stopped. It is not running. Previous case it is active. Now it is not running anymore. Now I can do the telnet. That means see disconnected. So the network was a rejection. The network firewall was rejecting my connection. I shut down the firewall. Now it started talking to it. Good enough. But anyway, you don't want that firewall to come online at any point of time. See, you see the status vendor, the firewall status is enabled. Even if I reboot this machine, firewall will come online. I don't want that. It anytime if even if I start the machine, it should not break the connection. I will disable the firewall. If I disable, even you reboot also, it won't come online. Done. If you see the status now, right, it is disabled. So stopping is a different story. Disabling is a different story. If you disable, even if you reboot the VM in the background, the firewall won't come online. The connections won't break here. So we resolve the network issue here. Good enough. It's one of the good examples we have seen. So, all right. So now telnet is going through. Now I can make a connection from Linux 01 to Linux 02 Mongo connection. So Mongo host. First you have to mention the host. Host name is Linux 02. And the port you have to mention because we have used a separate port 27018. If I run this one, it will connect to the server. You need to understand one thing. Mongo shell version is 4.0, but server version is 3.6. Shell version can be anything. Server version can be anything. Doesn't matter. See, here we intentionally running the 3.6 server. If you go Mongo port, you have to use locally port. Port is enough. Now I am able to connect. Here it is shell version is 3.6 and server version also 3.6. But I'm connecting from the Linux one. In the Linux one, we have 4.0 version. All binaries are 4.0. That is why it is calling 4.0 shell. And the target, what is the server version? 3.6. So shell and server no need to be on the same version. Keep this word is very important point I'm making. It's an interview question. And in the real time also, see, I have the SMS. SMS 2018 as my case. Using this SMS, I can connect to 2018, 2008, 2002, 2012, 14, 16, and 17 to the 19. Every version I can connect. This is a tool. This is a tool. The Mongo shell is also just like a tool. It doesn't matter the server version. The shell version, server version, no need to be matched. You guys are following? See, Mongo server shell version, Mongo, it is calling a Mongo shell. It is a shell, basically. It is calling 4.0 version, but server is 3.6. So shell version or server version is incompatible generally. They are not same version. Still making a connection means shell version does not matter whatever the shell version you're running, whatever the server version it is, it can make a connection. So shell version, server version, no need to be same. From any shell version, you can call any version server. Is it clear or not? Say something, please. This is important point.
Yes.
Yes.
So then either way, from here I'll call the other server, Mongo host. Here I am not running with a different port. I don't need to mention the port. Just host name is enough. Linux 01. If I hit it, it will connect. Because I am running the Mongo on the 27017 default port. Other than default port, you have to use the port when you are connecting. If it is a default port, you need to supply the port. By default, it will make a connection. Now, if you see, the shell version is 3.6, server version is 4.0. It is a reverse order. Why? Because here we are calling the 3.6 binaries in the background, not 4.0. 4.0 server version. It is running on the Linux 01. It is 3.6 is a shell version, which is running on the Linux 02. So shell version, server version, they are not going to conflict on anything for connectivity. Any shell version, any server version, it will connect. This is very important point you have to keep in mind. Shell and server, they are two different things because they are two different binaries in the background. If you see cd where it is two only, right? Mongo data, okay, and Mongo binary bin If you see, there are two different binaries. This is a server binary. MongoD is a server binary. It's a daemon. It is server. And MongoD is a shell binary. These two are different things. Server binary, shell binary are two different things. Using this shell binary, you can connect to any version of the Mongo. That is what I wanted to conclude. Nothing else other than that. So now we started the Mongo successfully on the Linux 02 as well. And I discussed all of these steps in detail in the last class. Check the last class video. You can follow today's class. What is the extension of what extra I have discussed is 3 commands: SCP, ping, and telnet. Telnet also we have given a good example. This machine was not able to telnet to this one because firewall is on, the port is blocked. Then I disable the firewall. Do you wanted the commands? Let's keep this if you want it for your reference.
Ravi, I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead, please.
So, so it is mandatory that from wherever we are connecting to Mongo, it should have a shell, like how we
Yes,
have SSMS, right?
exactly. Shell is
Client
mandatory.
machine.
Shell is mandatory. Without shell, we cannot make connection to Mongo. Shell is absolutely mandatory. Mongo binary is mandatory to make a connection to the target. Without that, we cannot make a connection. Clear, right?
So like on one of the Linux server, if you just have a cell, you can connect to
Any server.
any
Yes.
servers. Yeah.
So I was saying that is what I was saying in the diagram. If you see, you will have a jump host. You'll have the Mongo binaries here, not the server. Server is not started here, just to have the Mongo binary. So if I see here, what I'll do in this Linux 02 server, if is the case, so Mongo, let's see the port 27018. I'm shutting down the server. Use admin database. I'll talk about how to shut down. That is a different story. We're going to see in the next classes. Shut down server. I'm shutting down the server. So now you don't have the Mongo server on this one. How do you say Mongo is running? ps-ef grep Mongo. This is going to tell you whether you have the Mongo or not. So Mongo server is not running. You don't have. So what I have a shell, Mongo shell only for now. So use the Mongo to make a connection to Linux 01, 2, 3, whatever the servers I have in the background, I'll all connect because Mongo is there in this my machine. Mongo binary is running. If a Mongo binary is running, I'll connect to different server. If not, the server is not running in this machine, but the server is running in the different machine. I'll connect. So you definitely need a Mongo binary on the machine, then that should be executable for you or whoever intended to. Is it clear? Mongo is mandatory to make a connection.
Yes.
Ravi, one more thing. So you Mongo host Linux one you're trying to check, right? So
Right.
in the shell version, it is showing the current Linux 02 version or that Linux 01 still version. So
this version is a local version. Your Mongo shell in the local, in the current machine Linux 02, from which this you are calling this Mongo in the current machine, right? The current machine shell version is this, and target server version is this.
okay,
If I call, see, when you connect to the Mongo itself, it is launching the shell version. See, I'm disconnecting this. If you wanted to know the Mongo shell version that you're running from the current machine, go and version. This will tell you directly what version of shell version you're running. Without connecting to also, it will tell you Mongo -" version. If I go to this machine, I run the same thing. I can verify before I make a connection. You can find the version of the shell like this, Mongo -" version. 4.0 version here you have 3.6 shell version. It's calling the shell version. Clear? It's a local binary shell version. Is it clear?
yes.
Right. So
That
let me
is a MongoDB version only, right? Mongo shell version or MongoDB version?
yes, MongoD version. You have to use the MongoD version. The binary version in the local machine. And when you are connecting anyway, it is giving clear-cut information to you. Mongo version, Mongo host and Linux 01, I'm giving it. It is giving the clear information. What happened? Oh, service shut down. I shut it down. Did I shut down on this one? Let me see. Where did I shut down Mongo?
On two.
2.
You
Then,
start.
oh, it is running here. Then why not it is making connection? Good enough. It is not making good. What it is saying, Mongo host Linux 01. What happened to this? What it is saying, host, oh, sorry, the host name is wrong. Host name is wrong. Linux 01. If it is fails, we will troubleshoot, guys. More errors, more troubleshooting all the time. Right. See, it is giving, that is what I'm mentioning, Santosh, actually. If you are calling from the local binary, the local binary shell version is 3.6. And server side, server might be, one server might be 4.0, one server might be 4.2, one server might be 3.0 version also. Server versions are different. You don't need to worry about server version. You don't need to worry about the shell version also. Any shell version can make a connection to the server version. Is it clear?
Yes. Yeah.
We are not dependent on the shell versions to talk to the server side versions. Just you need a Mongo binary with any version. It will talk to all the server versions. That is what you need to know here. Right. Let me conclude this as a last discussion. Mongo versions. This is another important point you need to know. Mongo versions. Last topic for today. Tomorrow I'll pick up the new thing. Version support and life. Just let me show this. This is very important. You need to know where the Mongo is started, with what version it is started, and what versions are in the market. You need to know that. So for that reason, are these guys talking about it? Right. This is exactly I was looking for. The right one we are landed into. So release 1.0. Did they mention the support ended time? Oh, okay, right. This is exactly. See, people do definitely ask this question. Just try to keep in mind. MongoDB versions. Tell me all the MongoDB versions. If someone did not really work, they cannot tell. Seriously. Yeah, maybe in the someone institute people. I have interviewed many people, guys, on the MongoDB recruitment. So when I asked many people, they said like 3.6, 3.4, 3.4.0. That's all. The previous version he was not telling me, he did not work, as simple as it is. People really work, they know the versions, what versions exist, because version to version the improvement, a lot of improvements have been done. So you have to be, I'm going to prepare everything right from the, you can crack the interview, you can crack the exam as well, both. If you follow my classes, you can take easily the exam, you can easily pass, and also you can clear the interview also, because I'm going to send you the all interview question as well. That is what they do ask most of the time, the questions what I'm going to send. But anyway, you have to be, if you understand all the classes, that's enough. No need to mention the interview questions and anything. You just follow my videos properly, you are done with everything most of the time. 90%, 10% depends environment to environment. 90% you prepared. Anyway, try to follow. See, MongoDB started with 1.0 in 2009. Before that, MongoDB was actually owned by Tengen. Company was Tengen. Tengen itself is a MongoDB. MongoDB's company old name was Tengen. Okay, the Tengen is actually in 2009 they turned into MongoDB. 2009 onwards, they have released the new versions. From 2009, 2010, I was still telling in the demo, the NoSQL family started getting the response after 2010 only, because before 2010, we were not having too many smart devices with the people to generate the data. There used to be a proper format. Someone has to go to the system, work. The system will have a format, like structured format. Now people have a lot of different devices, they are generating a lot of different sources. That's where this got the popularity. Why? Because people are not coming with see, social media was not there before. If you see 2008, 2007, Facebook also, that time was only, it was get popularizing. So that the diversified data started giving in the market in the after 2010 only. That is where the MongoDB or NoSQL family got the slow response. Now it is really one of the famous product. So now 2009 they have released 1.0. After that 1.2. 1.4. See, every version, if you see, two difference is there up to 1.8, but other versions you don't have it. 1.2, you have to remember this: 1.2, 1.2, 1.4, 1.6, 1.8. Then 2.0, 2.2, 2.4, 2.6 is there, 2.3, 8 is not there, 8 is missing here. See, in the 2.2 version also, 2.2, 4, 6, everywhere two difference is there, but 8 is skipped. It is not there. It is not there. That not there. That's it. You have to tell that. Why? Because Mongo did not like release 2.8. They lot of new features they introduced. That's why they jumped directly into 3.0, skipping the 2.8. Again in 3.0 also you don't have 3.8, 3.2, 3.4, 3.6 and 4.0. So now currently the market is running on these three versions. Especially we are running, all our environment is running on these three versions. By April 2021 it is going to end, so it has almost a year more support. And MongoDB 4.0, 90% of our server running on this one. 90%. Here maybe 5-6%, but most of the servers, our servers in our environment, are running 4.0, and it has the end of life at January 2022 basically. Okay, it is released in this is a release date, this is a end life. And 4.2, we have like 7-8%, maybe roughly 10-12 servers we are running on the 4.2. Recently we upgraded, and this is end of life is not defined yet. Maybe they'll come up, they are not decided yet when they are going to end their support. But anyway, they might give you up to 2024, most probably 24 they'll easily give it. There will be 2 years gap for sure. 2024 you can run this 4.2. This 4.4 is a buggy thing, guys. Don't use it. We are running it. Some applications are breaking on that one. We tested it. It was not going well. So we stopped the upgrade to this one. We thought to like one of the server to explore on this one, but that was not doing well. Maybe they'll rectify more and more. Wait for some more time. Don't go for it. 4.2, 4.0, 3.6. These are the production servers right now people are running because they have the support. Something breaks out, they'll give you a paid support or license support, whatever it is. Two ways I talked about in the beginning. You have a community edition which is free with all the capabilities of data handling except monitoring, encryption and auto backup. That few features are deprecated, but in terms of data set handling, both are equally powerful, community and enterprise. If you're running the community edition, you need the support, you have to pay for the support. If you're buying the enterprise licenses, they'll give the support at free. Either way, either you give the money to the support or give the licensing support. One of the thing you have to pay if you wanted to get the support from the MongoDB. Right, this is something you need to clearly aware of. People do ask this: what are the MongoDB versions we had since the beginning? 1.c. If you close this off also, see, first it started with 1, and it will add to each version: 1.2, 1.4, 1.6, 1.8. See, 1.8 is there in the 1 series only. 1.8, 2.0. Then after 2.2, 2.4, 2.6. 2.8 is not there. See here, that you have to keep in mind. It's simple to remember these versions. They do ask this question because I used to ask in the interview most of the time, because to check the authenticity of the person. People really learn from the institute. They don't know the most of the background thing. So where the people caught as a fake, that is where I'm going to stress as well. So you have to catch all of this so that you will portray like you're a genuine guy. So I'm going to talk about that also in the course. Like I will pinpoint it. This is what people do ask. You should not say this kind of, this is what you have to say kind of. So versions are important, one of the thing. And 2.2, 2.4, 2.6, then 3.0, 8 is skipped. Here also 3.2, 3.4, 3.6 and 4.0, 8 is skipped. Maybe they might skip in the 4.0 or not, we don't know. That is up to them. Product is there, they can release 4.8 or directly 5.0. It all matters. They will be keep releasing the versions anyway. You are upgrading or not upgrading, they'll give you the end of life, and by that time you have to come to the higher version. It is mandatory. And also Mongo, you cannot jump. If you're running on the 1.0, you have to go to 1.2 only. You cannot go to 1.4. It is something, you have to go in the serial order upgrade if you're doing the product upgrade using the manual way. But if you wanted to convert from 1.0 to 4.4, you have to do the backup restore. There is no product underlying like a product you cannot directly upgrade, but you can do the backup restore to any version, that is there. We're going to see in the backup restore and upgrade. I'm going to explain that how we can upgrade in Mongo, what are the compatibilities we have, what version to what version we can go actually if we do the complete product at a time, or we are going through backup methodology, how we can move on. So every use case I'm going to explain because I did all of this, I involved into all of these activities. I'm going to share all my experience, guys, because there are pros and cons for everything. We're going to see that. So what I did discuss, what is the takeaway from today class is we recapped most of the thing, like how we can create a account and create a group, add the account to the group, then create the directories, take the directory ownership to the service account. Then you download the binary and extract it under the directory where you got the permissions. Then prepare the environment variable. Then prepare the config file, run the MongoD and connect. When you are connecting, what kind of issues you get at the network layer? You can first check ping, then telnet. If these are okay, these are the only two things will tell you the machine is not talking or talking to the target. If these are clear, definitely they are using the wrong port, wrong username, wrong password. These are other possibilities. If you check all these 5, most of the connectivities will be resolved. 99%. There will be 5 possibilities. So that's all for today. Anyone have any question? I did not discuss anything new than yesterday compared to except this firewall. Let me tell you this firewall, checking the firewall status. Quickly write this, guys. Just a minute. I'll send this file with the today's class. And if you see this, and I have sent a machine Linux 02. There the firewall is enabled. You have to disable this. If you are connecting to other machine, it will go. But when target machine, if they are trying to connect to Linux 02, it will throw the error. So stopping the firewall, checking the firewall status and stopping the firewall. Anyone have question? Let me know. Meanwhile, stopping the firewall.
Are you going to give the image of Linux 01?
No, you can build from one. For now, one machine is enough. If you wanted to clone the same machine, let me talk about one machine. I wanted to make multiple clones and use it tomorrow. I'll pick up that in the beginning of the tomorrow itself. Use one machine for today. One machine I have given, you can make 100 clones out of that machine in your local machine itself. How you can clone? I can build multiple machines and run. I'll pick up tomorrow in the beginning of it, as you asked. No need to copy everything and give it. One machine is enough. How do we build a machine clones? We will use it in multiple machines. I'll talk about it.
So
Then
Ravi,
disabling.
that upgrading you do from major version to major version. So is it like because subversion also get released like 4.0.20? So that has to be in sequence or only the
No.
major?
That major. Those are actually on the same version, extra packages to get the benefits of that new developments. It's like a service pack. It's not the version. Version is different. Service packs are different. The minor versions are anything, doesn't matter. For you have here, if you see 3. Come on, where it is. Just a good example. You asked a good question before I close this. Let's go to the package quickly. What she's asking is, see, this is a 3.620. Before 3.620, it was 14 actually. It was 14. So 14 and 20, this is a new package they have released. So if I install a new server, I'll go to the 20. If I wanted to upgrade to the existing one also with the minor versions, how do we upgrade? We'll see that. So upgrading one minor version to another version, you can skip anything within the version 3.6. You got to example 3.10, 3.14, 3.20. As you guess 3.10 you're running, you can go up to 3.20 directly. No need to follow that sequence what they have released within the version. If you move to version, that is where you have to move to next version only. Is that clear?
Okay. Yes. Thank you.
Maybe other people did not follow it because I'll pick up this when we install, because you might be having little idea. So anyway, if other people did not understood
Those
this
are
point,
service pack, right?
it's kind of
Those are
service pack.
service pack. Yeah,
Exactly, you can compare with service
it's
pack,
fine.
bug fixes, additional features on the same version. It can be anything. You can directly go to what is the latest available directly.
One more quick question. So
Yeah.
we were talking about the Mongo shell version 3.6 and Mongo server version. So it is
Hmm.
only come into picture when you're trying to connect from one server to the other server, right?
That's correct. That's correct. Yes. When we
Okay.
connect, that's what we do most of the time. We don't go to the RDP all the time. We do from jump host, and we manage most of the time from here only. If I had to do physical structures, file definitions, I wanted to change something, then I'll enter into the local host and do it generally. But Mongo shell is enough to talk to the Mongo servers, creating the databases, creating the collections, copying the collection, copying the databases, and most of the stuff what you do, you can do from the Mongo shell remotely. But if you wanted to take the backup and move the file physically from one server to the server, then you have to enter into the machine. So that's where it all matters. When do we connect? When we don't connect to the local machine. I mean the server
Something
local
like
machine.
NDB2 we do catalog.
Exactly. That is exactly can compare with this.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other questions before I stop?